Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy II for the Nintendo Famicom system. It's time for Fess, Maxine, Booker, and their old friend Leon to make some progress in the Jade Passage. They cleared out the treasure on the first floor in the last episode, but they ran into some pretty tough enemies, specifically a group of 5 abyss worms. And those abyss worms can cast Cyclone 13, so hurt them pretty bad. So they went out, recouped, made a save state, and saved their game. So now they're ready to head back in and try to conquer a few more floors and grab the treasure within. So this will be a common theme. We'll end up retreating after we get all the treasure to make a save before we try to conquer the Jade Passage and Castle Pandemonium all in one go. So yeah, the 2 dungeons go back to back with one another. So yeah, pretty long trek. So in order to make things a little bit easier, like I said, we'll clear out the Jade Passage, get all the treasure, teleport out, save our game, and then that way when we go through the Jade Passage to head into Castle Pandemonium, it'll just be a straight shot. We won't have to take any side paths and go out of our way hunting for treasure, so make things a little bit easier. So what also will make things a little bit easier is a lot of the treasure that we get in here will be, you know, end game level gear. For instance, Booker will get his best armor, his best shield. So yep, we got some good equipment. We already got some of the, Fess would get a new knife as well. Leon would get the best axe in the game too, if we weren't lucky and already have gotten those drops from enemies in Castle Palamecia. Yeah, we got pretty lucky so far with drops in terms of weapons. Armor, not so much. So yeah, it took a while for us to get that ribbon drop from the Lamia Queen. And they'll be a common enemy in Castle Pandemonium. Along with another enemy, Death Riders. Both of them can drop ribbons, but we're going to get another ribbon from a regular treasure chest in there. That'll go on Maxine, unless we get another ribbon from one of those drops from one of those enemies. We'd only really need one more ribbon, and that would go on Leon. That would help him avoid some of these status effects, because when Booker gets his best shield, the Aegis shield, and his best armor, the Dragon Mail, they'll protect him from all status ailments. But until then, we just gotta hope that his evasion holds up. So both his magic and his physical evasion. So that's the bad thing with you want to have physical evasion, because these enemies here, even if you have like a ribbon on like how Fess does, if they hit you with a status causing physical attack, it could still have that status effect go into effect. So poor Leon, he's getting hit a whole bunch of times. But yeah, that's the only bad thing about Leon. He doesn't have a really great evasion compared to Fess and Booker, which is why a lot of people, when they get him, they'll end up giving him the best armor in the game. The Genji equipment, which we end up getting in Castle Pandemonium, the next dungeon, and the final dungeon, because they're like, well, he can't really evade attacks all that well, so we might as well just give him a whole bunch of armor that, so when he does take a hit, he doesn't take a lot of damage. So, but, well, speaking of taking damage, let's have Fess heal up all that damage that Leon took. So, probably get Cure up to level 8 by the time we finish this dungeon. Hopefully Maxine will get her, at least some of her elemental spells up to level 8 as well. She may have 2 of them up there already, so let's see. No, very close. Thunder and Scourge are both very close, so a few more battles and they'll be up there. So, alright. We're on the second floor here. There's a treasure chest down there. That has the cat claw knife. We already got that. We're going to head up this way first just to grab one treasure chest. Then we're going to warp back to grab that cat claw knife because there's a hidden passageway that'll make things a lot easier. So otherwise we'd have to go around a big kind of wall up here to the northeast. And that'll just increase our chance of getting into a lot of encounters with tough enemies like these great marbles. And we don't want that, so we'll just grab this one little piece of treasure up here that's pretty worthless. And then we'll warp back and take the shortcut to get to the cat claw knife and the other treasure on this floor. So, poke. Good old great marbles. This is where they first started coming into marbles. The first appearance they make in the Final Fantasy games. And they are really annoying throughout the entire series because they always have all these status effects. So, that's their calling card. So, wonder what they are. They look like kind of like almost like a big mouth, like Beholder monster. Beholder monster with like big eyes with all these tentacles on them. So I wonder what the inspiration for them is. Maybe the big plant from Little Shop of Horrors. They kind of look like another Hellfire, like I said, casts Fire 5, which is more like Fire 1.25. Remember, because items divide by 4 multi-targeting. Alright, so let's warp back here, and then we're going to go through this hole in the wall here, secret passage, and grab this knife. But, got another enemy encounter here first, with the Chimera Sphinx, the strongest Sphinx monster in the game. We ran into the first of this Chimera Sphinx, Sphinx-type monsters. They were the ones guarding the life spring, north of, in the cave north of Castle Geest. That was so long ago. Back then we were all worried about them running into potentially having 4 of them, because they can have 2 to 4 appear in that battle before you're able to throw the egg into the life spring. And I was like, oh, hope we don't get 4. But we got 4 anyway, so once again, bad luck on this playthrough, but I guess it wasn't that bad because we were able to finish them off without too much problems. Mainly because we, before we went to the Deast Cave, we ended up going to the tropical island. And this cave kind of looks a little bit like the tropical island. You know, it's it doesn't look that bad compared to, you know, if we figure a passageway into hell, you know, you figure it would be much worse. So monsters, of course, are pretty bad, but the scenery isn't that bad. Here's a pretty bad monster, a blue dragon. Second to the last one, we still have to meet the red dragon, but this is like the lightning dragon, so he'll be weak against Scourge. And then like the poison dragon he was weak against lightning, and the ice dragon was weak against fire, and the fire dragon that we still have to run into, the red dragon, he'll be weak against ice, so they kind of have little pairs like that. So, but yeah, dragons not too tough if you've been working on your elemental spells. Usually about 2 castings finish it off. So, but yeah, they're going to be a common enemy later on in the Castle Pandemonium, the final dungeon. They'll be in later floors. The bosses will be random encounters. So, but that just goes to show, you know, kind of how far you've come, you know, when you're able to take out what used to be a boss monster, just in regular encounters. So, oh, it got 0 gil there, so that means we get treasure. Oh, we get the dragon shield. That protects against all the elements, like, I keep saying all the elements, but there's 8 elements. It protects against the, I guess your standard elements. Ice, fire, lightning, and poison. that'll eventually go, once we get the dragon armor, we'll pass that down to Maxine. So, give her some little bit of extra protection. So, and then that shield can be, will be eventually replaced by the Aegis shield. So, more of these salamander monsters. So, they cast that fire, fire 16. So, they, Booker will have some protection against that fire now, thanks to his, that dragon shield. So, but, weird how the, just looking at the background there, it's not appropriate. It's like ice cave background, but when we're actually walking through this dungeon, it's like tropical. So maybe I guess they're just figuring it's a frosty presentation here. Although you figure with hell is I always pictured it as burning the lake of fire. You figure it would be hot. But she figured there should be flames in the background there. But who knows what they were thinking. Maybe just forgetting that thing because we're in the water. I don't know. Let's grab this treasure chest. Another Arctic wind. Pointless item. So, I think that casts Blizzard 16. So even though it's a 16, remember, it's not all that good. So, much better to just use your regular, elemental spells. So, our character's got the Bacchus wines there. Booker and Leon, that'll be good for like, that casts Berserk 6. So, that'll be good for like, fighting like the final boss. We'll be able to have Booker and Leon berserk themselves, and have Maxine end up berserking Fess. So, that way she doesn't have to waste 3 turns berserking everybody. They'll be able to berserk themselves. So, yeah, I don't think we can run into any more goddesses. They're the ones who can drop the Bacchus wines. I don't think any of the enemies in the upcoming dungeon, in this dungeon or the next dungeon, drop Bacchus wines, so it's just all the ones that we got, and there's no more, none of the treasure chests that we get have the Bacchus wines, so just gotta stick with what we got. So, but that's the 2 is good enough. So Berserk is very, very powerful. So, it's kind of better than, like I said, it increases your attack power by 5 per casting, so it can potentially increase your attack by 30 with all the castings go through, so 6 times 5 would be 30, so another way to, I like the Berserk spells, for, making yourself, take out enemies easier, bosses and stuff like that. The other way to do it is, of course, use the Coast spell, but it's harder to inflict Coast on enemies than it is to just buff yourself up. Because a lot of enemies will have magic resistance, high magic resistances, like for the Emperor, for example, the last boss, the Emperor, he has, I believe, 14 times 100%, so you need to have your spell up to level 15 to potentially get a casting through on him of like a Coast spell. And then even something like the Ancient Sword has such low accuracy that you might not hit him with the Ancient Sword and get the Coast to go through, so well, you're pretty much guaranteed, to buff yourself up. The buff is going to go through, so in this, in future Final Fantasy games, though, like, debuffs are, pretty good, so in those games, it's good to, debuff the enemies, so, because they have a better chance of getting through. We got more Abyss Worms. We also ended up getting, Maxine finally got her Scourge spell up to level, 8. So so that's good. We don't have to work on that anymore. We can start working on some of the other ones here. Thunder will be our next priority. Like I said, because Fire and Blizzard, more enemies are weak to them than anything else, so we'll get more chances to cast them than the others. So, let's work on our Thunder. Preemptive Strike is nice against these Abyss Worms. Hopefully we can take, you know, maybe 2 of them out. Like I say, we won't be able to take out 2 of them in the first turn, but if we are able to go before them, before they act, we'll be able to maybe knock out a second one before they start doing their turns. And looks like we missed, so... Yeah, because one of them went already. So... Well, we did take out another, so let's see, maybe the one that... Hopefully we took out one that didn't take its... We took out the one that didn't take its turn yet, but... It usually doesn't work that way. I wonder if the game kind of cheats. Like the game... I guess the only way to determine that would be to, like, look at like a script reader while the game is going on in the back, you know, having it working on in the background while the game is playing. I wonder if the game, like, it says, like, oh, we have 3 monsters here, like, you know, and you defeated one, but one of them already took a turn. Let's make it so that the one that you defeated didn't take their turn. So, I don't know, because it always seems that way. But then again, like I said, I tend to be kind of unlucky in these games. Seems like whenever I have a 50-50 chance of something happening, there's a 100% chance that it's not going to work in my favor. So, maybe that's why I don't gamble. The only gambling I ever did was, there's a money wheel, at the church picnic where I grew up at. They used to, they'd spin the wheel, and if it landed on, you'd put like $1 on a spot, and if it landed on that spot, you know, get the dollar or whatever spot it was. So if you put $1 on 20 and it ended up on 20, you get 20 bucks. You know, but of course, the higher the numbers, the less frequently that number appeared on the wheel. So, but that's like the only gambling I ever did. Never was a fan of gambling. So, just because I have such terrible luck, it's a good way for me to lose a lot of money. So, never did it. But finally popped an elixir there for Fess. So, because he needs those, thing to heal everybody up there. Once again, those Abyss Worms can be very dangerous with their Cyclone 13 being non-elemental. Doesn't matter if we have elemental protections. So, still gonna hurt quite a bit. So, Blizzard and Fire, about, you know, 2/3 of the way there, so we'll be working on them in our next episode where we continue through the Jade Passage. Hope to see you then. Thanks for following along. Have a good day. Bye.